Oh,
Recording in
okay.
progress. You
Thank you very much,
take the screen
Andrew.
now.
Okay, I gotta get my own screen up here and put it on the full screen, and we will share screen. Okay, so we are live on week number 111 of the Indigenous Global Unity Summit. So we have a few guests here, familiar faces in some cases, but we also have some others on with us. So as always, I do like to start IGU Summit events by acknowledging those who came before us on these lands. So I do say land acknowledgement. So we begin today by acknowledging that we walk upon the traditional territories of Indigenous peoples. We recognize their history, spirituality, culture, and stewardship of the land. We're grateful to all Indigenous groups for their commitment to protect the land and its resources. We're committed to reconciliation, partnership, and enhanced understanding. We acknowledge the land that I am residing on here, as I am visiting in Taoyuan, Taiwan, is traditional territory of many nations, including the Austronesian indigenous peoples who have lived on this island for over 8,000 years. The East Formosan tribes of the Atayama peoples of central and northern Taiwan, also known as the Tayan, meaning human or man, and where Taoyuan City in this modern age contains 16 different Aboriginal groups, whose population exceeds 7,000. Making Taoyuan the most populated city for Indigenous peoples on the western part of the island. We also acknowledge that the Indigenous Culture Center of Taoyuan City, first established in May 2004, has become a gathering point for the Indigenous peoples, as well as being listed as one of Taoyuan City's story houses, and where totem poles on Rainbow Avenue express the Indigenous spirit with beautiful lines, and where the colors on the base of each totem pole derive from the costumes of the different tribes, integrating with the unique landscapes of Taiwan to symbolize the unity of all ethnic peoples. We'd like to thank the Indigenous peoples of these lands, including the Atayama, for sharing this land with us. In our role as settlers and visitors and displaced people on this land, we share the responsibility of challenging and disrupting colonial systems that enact violence upon the land and stand in solidarity with Indigenous peoples. We also acknowledge and recognize all of the world's Indigenous peoples as stewards of Mother Earth. Okay, so with that, I will move forward with the Indigenous Global Unity Summit. I do like to say, of course, to all our friends in Africa or Kebulan, Asante Sana. Thank you very much in Swahili. So thank you for joining us today for this IGU Summit event. I do also like to say Sawubona, which means I see you, I see myself in you, I see your hopes, your dreams, and your struggles. I see your ancestors as well, because interconnectedness does not end with two people who are greeting each other. It extends to include the ancestors. All beings in Mother Nature are interconnected. There is no sense of being separate. I see myself in all beings, and therefore, if I harm other beings or Mother Nature, it translates into harming myself. So events coming up, today being Thursday, July 20th, 2023. This being, of course, week 111 of our IGU Summit series. Today is World Chess Day. It's actually a UN event. So we celebrate Chess Day, International Chess Day. It's called on July 20th, which is a day that was born from the idea that UNESCO had to celebrate with the day of the International Chess Federation was founded in 1924. Chess lovers around the world celebrate their favorite game on this day each year. So again, you'll find in the chat a link to the official World Chess Day event of the United Nations. So this past Tuesday, July 18th, was also Nelson Mandela International Day, which is 18th of July. So we celebrate Nelson Mandela International Day every year to shine light on the legacy of the man who changed the 20th century and helped shape the 21st. This is a moment for all of us to renew with the values that inspired Nelson Mandela: absolute determination, a deep commitment to justice, human rights, and fundamental freedoms, a profound belief in the equality and dignity of every woman and man, a relentless engagement for dialogue and solidarity across all lines and divisions. Nelson Mandela is a great statesman, a fierce advocate for equality, the founding father of peace in South Africa. We invite you to mark Nelson Mandela International Day every year by making a difference in your communities. So again, find that information in the chat. And coming up this weekend is WIDAFest, the Windsor International Diaspora African Festival. I'm hoping, of course, that some of our UnityNet GTA members might be able to get down to Windsor for this great event that happens from Sunday to Sunday, July 23rd to 30th. So there's a link in the chat to register for WIDAFest. Again, Windsor International Diaspora African Festival, which also at the end has the bigger awards gala 2023, which starts this 8-day festival and culminating.
Oh, Lloyd,
celebration.
Lloyd, excuse me, but
yes,
excuse me, just a moment. I think, did you send out a slide share with your presentation that you're making now? Was that for this week that you sent that out?
Yes, I am sending. I did.
Well, is it possible you could share your screen instead of just having us look at this global Unity network throughout the entire presentation? Maybe you could just share your SlideShare presentation. No?
Well, the SlideShare presentation is this presentation.
Oh, okay, I got you. We're still in the introductory phase. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
I'm actually having problems with the volume. I can only hear a few words of what you're saying.
Okay, I'll see if maybe I can hold up the microphone closer to my mouth. So today is also National Moon Day, which is every July 20th every year, commemorating astronaut Neil Armstrong's landing on the moon. And Apollo 11, of course, carried the 2 astronauts to the surface of the moon. NASA reported the moon landing as being, quote unquote, the single greatest technological achievement of all time. So I'm saying that again in the chat, National Moon Day, because similar hashtag, also known as Space Exploration Day, where actually President Ronald Reagan created this to commemorate the first crewed mission to the moon and the moon landing by astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. That took place on July 20th, 1969. So Space Exploration Day is the time to show some appreciation for and celebrate the advances that the world has gained through the exploration of space. Things like electronics and the computers we're using would probably not be around if not for all the research that went into moon missions. Related to that as well is International Day of Human Spaceflight. This is not today, this is actually 12th of April, but the General Assembly also had a resolution to set 7th of April, or sorry, 12th of April as the International Day of Human Spaceflight to celebrate each year at the international level the beginning of the space era for mankind, reaffirming the important contribution of space science and technology in achieving sustainable development goals and increasing the well-being of states and peoples, as well as ensuring the realization of their aspiration to maintain outer space for peaceful purposes. So this is just a related event, not today, but in the same vein. Also, as a fun one, today is actually called National Lollipop Day, which celebrates the invention of the lollipop and how it brightens every child and makes everyone happy. According to popular lore, National Lollipop Day was invented by the National Confectioners Association. Unfortunately, we not only know who invented the lollipop, but also when he invented it. Apparently, it was today in history. Again, you can see in the chat a little bit about this day. So you can actually find some of these different holidays in the calendar in the chat. Our guest for today is Mr. Bruno Basilici from Nairobi. I'm not sure if he's on the call with us right now, but please let me know if you do see him. We can put him on as soon as he comes in with us. So Bruno is a youth leader, a youth policy advocate, a professional performing artist, a managing director, and an international relations expert. He is an SDG Global Ambassador and an African Youth Delegate for the African Union. He's also the Global Youth Ambassador of an organization called SDG Youth Korea. He is the founder of OPAC Kenya, a performing arts organization based in Kisumu, Kenya, on the northeastern shore of Lake Victoria, the third largest city in Kenya and the second largest city after Kampala in the Lake Victoria Basin. Bruno is also the regional leader for the National Youth Council of Kenya in the Lake region of Kenya, and a project administrator for the Steve Foundation, an NGO which is also based in Kisumu, Kenya. Bruno retired as the director in Unlock Arts Kenya, the performing arts organization based in Nairobi. So again, you can find information about the related networks, especially the Unity Arts Network and the Unity Africa and Diaspora Network. Again, since our guest is from that network. But as we move forward, again, please let me know if you do see Bruno. What I'd like to say about these UnityNet and IGU Summit events is this. We want to be sure that our UnityNet members are getting good publicity and visibility globally so that people from all around the world will know all about the good work that you are doing in your own community. So this is important because it will give you credibility when it comes time to apply for funding for your own local projects and programs. Whether the funding you apply for comes from UnityNet Finance or from another funding source. Of course, UnityNet International has some partners who are working on establishing the infrastructure for regenerative finance, also known as REFI. But this may take some time before we'll be able to finance your own project. So bear with us, it is coming. In the chat, you'll actually find a link so that you can also join our finance networks. Our goal is to assist all financial institutions and organizations, including ethical and cooperative banking, credit unions, and digital trust-based financial service providers, allowing them to tap into the many opportunities provided by the members of the Global Unity Network to empower these local FFPG, to allow them to access regenerative finance through their own local INF collaborative community partnership ecosystems that ensure transparency, accountability, and integrity at all levels and across all sectors of society, amongst government, business, civil society, academic, and all other sectors of the HEBGA Matrix partnerships established at the local, watershed, and bioregional levels. We only invite financial organizations who have a long-term vision and wish to help the world to demonstrate and achieve a post-2030 localized, responsible, productive, compassionate, collaborative, regenerative economy that leaves no one behind. So with that, I am sharing the text chat. So one thing that I want to mention again this week to try to make sure that everyone understands what we're doing. Our purpose is to help you establish partnerships and empowerment networks so your community is investment ready. Our work is not for charity giving. We focus on productive regenerative investments, supporting people and planet holistically. We here at UnityNet International are trying to find ways to facilitate and create pathways for investors and investment funds to go into your regenerative projects and the local humanitarian enterprises that are built and run by our FFHE members, rather than always just looking at the things we are doing in our local communities as if they were charities only, that they can never make a quote-unquote profit. Because if these investors are looking at these through the lens of holistic development and ESG, these community-based organizations are most definitely worth investing. We need to change our mindset. Instead of continuing to ask for donations to help us as poor people, we need to start marketing ourselves and our projects, including the nonprofits, as community-based enterprises. They are also excellent investments to be made for the future of sustainable and regenerative development. So the marketing I go as an example goes something like this. We are building here all of our social structures. These are investments into people who will ensure economic growth can continue to take place in all of our local communities of UnityNet into the foreseeable future. Why? It's because we're also ensuring the health and well-being of people and the planet in our own local watersheds and bioregions, which is fundamental to the health of our economic systems. Because we know that by taking this approach as an essential starting, we can ensure that we get even better local economic conditions in the future. We will begin to create communities that will help to attract additional investments into our own local people and infrastructure networks and watersheds and bioregions, including in places like rural Africa, Asia, and more. So the important thing to know is that we collectively, humanity, go through this transition, is that, as Emperor Julian noted, great innovations never come from above, they invariably come from below. From the much derided silent folk of the land, those who are less infected with academic prejudices than great celebrities are wont to be. The question is asked recently as well, what will move people as things get more broadly terrible? In answering himself, Douglas Carmichael, Gardening, noted, I'm convinced that only larger questions and the mythic, not scientific rationalists, are capable of moving populations in the actions necessary to engage with what is emerging as a bitter battle of climate. If we read together Joseph Tainter's Collapse of Complex Societies with Toynbee's study of history, the psychological, the political collapses of many of them will actually be able to engage and not leave the scene as truants, nor wax promiscuous by aligning with one hope after another. These are Toynbee's categories to describe many in this time. So again, in the chat, just a reference to those two articles, those two books. So the next event that we do is supposed to be our Bubble Fun Festival, which is intended to take place every year on Saturday, August 12th, or the weekend closest to it, which is International Youth Day. But instead of a Bubble Fun Festival this year, because it seems that our partners in PodNet aren't quite ready for that yet, we'll do some globally coordinated events to establish some youth peace gardens instead, along with a fundraiser from Wednesday, August 9th to Saturday, August 19th, inclusive of August 12th, International Youth Day. So note that August 9th is International Day of Indigenous Peoples, and August 19th is World Humanitarian Day. And every day between these two dates is part of our UnityNet Community Unity Weeks, where we'll be celebrating the diversity of humanity. The purpose of the events that we'll be doing and our UnityNet Community Weeks will be to raise funds for practical reconciliation community projects and initiatives. and to plant trees and establish community youth peace gardens in all of our local communities of both folk and UnityNet, where we can celebrate our diversity locally together. So this year we have also started a campaign for our fundraising called the UnityNet Watershed Peace Gardens campaign, which is a campaign led by the Unity Environment Network and their members, working in partnership with the Global Partnership for Regenerative Development and the UnityNet members to protect the ecological integrity of lakes, rivers, and watershed biodiversity and hotspots, as well as bioregional integrity, using the UnityNet system of working with local Indigenous peoples and their allies. So during this campaign, we'd like to begin to establish rings of networks of youth peace gardens all around sacred waters and all around sacred ecoregions, planted by young people and their families of the regions that need ecological protection from this degenerative development, like urban and industrial developments, mining, or other activities that can contaminate the waters or damage the ecological integrity of our bioregions. This event is also about establishing local teams, the pollinator and watershed ambassadors, through the RDG clubs at local schools and in local communities of these sacred watersheds and bioregions, as well as demonstrating regenerative living lifestyle that help to restore and regenerate ecosystems and various local watershed integrity as people live their day-to-day lives. So you will find the details of this event and some links to join the campaign in the Zoom chat window. Please also note that I'm currently in the process of trying to get some buy-in from people and organizations here in Asia to organize some kind of event on the International Youth Day, August 12th, even if it's only a small tree planting ceremony to establish a youth peace garden. It's likely that on that day, August 12th, we'll also host a virtual discussion related to the actions that we need to be taking in all of our communities of UnityNet and establish and achieve a responsible, productive, localized, compassionate, collaborative, regenerative economy that leaves no one behind, starting with those youth peace gardens, but eventually leading to the establishment of some community unity gardens, some community unity hubs, and unity peace centers in all our local communities of UnityNet. It might be possible, but we'll do a tree planting ceremony this year in Vietnam. This could take place at 1,000 hectares forest on the coast of the country, a tourist destination that is famous for its sandy beaches and unique foods. They call this region the Riviera of southern Vietnam. We may even be able to do a twinning of the peace garden that we established in the forest in Vietnam, twinning with some other forests and various other communities around the world, whether existing or future. Wherever we can establish some UnityNet Unity Forest learning centers, starting with the one in Vietnam, along with any other twins in any other community that would like to work with us to establish a circular, regenerative, climate-smart food production economy, using the concepts of the wheel of life farms and farm schools. Of course, we'd like those UnityNet Unity Forest learning centers and or the UnityNet Peace centers and or the community unity hubs to also be registered as UnityNet Unity Tourism for SDG destination as well. So you'll find again, chat, a little bit of information about International Youth Day and some of the networks that are supporting the day in the United Nations system. And you'll also find there in the chat a link to the latest Eventbrite page for registering for the Community Unity Week 2023 online event. And finally, you'll find a link to the UnityNet Watershed Peace Gardens campaign, which was to establish recently as well. And there's a description in full of that campaign. You'll also find a little bit of information about the location of the youth peace garden we'd like to establish in Vietnam, and a link to the UnityNet Unity Forest Network, noting that our Unity Forest concept encompasses all of the various regenerative, climate-smart, and permaculture forest solutions, where humanitarian entrepreneurship is taught all of the citizens of our local communities. So the goal of being that we would like to plant as many as 60 billion trees in these localized UnityNet, Unity Guardian, Unity forests around the world by 2064 as a contribution to the Planet Foundation and their trillion trees. So again, you'll find that information in the chat if you would like to know those various other programs and campaigns which we would like to also support. There is also the permaculture network and of course our UnityNet Unity Tourism Facilities Network, which is now intended to become one of the important networks that we work with those people. So thank you for joining us today, this Thursday Zoom session. For all of you watching this on social media, Facebook, please also join our LinkedIn and WhatsApp groups that help us to create a truly global network of educators, professionals, and active citizens who are helping to accelerate this transition to a globalized, responsible, productive, compassionate, collaborative, regenerative economy that seeks to leave none behind. So am I correct that Mr. Owiti is now with us? So at this point in time, Mr. Owiti, would you like to start your presentation? Did we lose him?
No, he's on here,
He's
Mr.
on here. I saw his name. Oh, there he is.
Fuck.
Bruno,
Yes, how are you?
are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you. Sorry for being late. I was in another meeting.
No,
I'm just yes, yes.
I gave my full opening until now, so we can get you on and doing your presentation. Yeah, a few other guests
All right,
with us as well.
All right.
So I'm going to stop my share of my screen.
All right.
Stop share. So you can now, if you are able to share your own screen, if you have some visuals for us.
Just a minute.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so in the meantime, I'd like to welcome Bill Cantalon to the call today. We always like to say hello to our and all the people who are coming on our call where we don't recognize some of the names. And we will have, if there is time at the end, if people can introduce themselves as well.
All right.
Provided that Bruno doesn't go too long.
And
Are you almost ready with your presentation, Bruno?
it is not getting.
Are you working with a laptop or only your cell phone?
On my cell phone.
seems like quite a common thing. Are you able to share your screen?
Yes, I'm able to share my screen. It's only that it's when I'm about to share the screen, it tells me I'm unable to do so. So I'm wondering. Just a minute. Let me work on it.
Okay, I don't know who is.
You have. I was asking. There is a document that I'd sent you earlier, or the one for unlockouts. I don't know whether you have it on from your end.
Did you send me something on WhatsApp?
I did send you something on WhatsApp.
Okay, I just need to open WhatsApp again. Typically, I'm closing it for these presentations because it is taking up the bandwidth. So I'm just opening it up again now, and I will check for your message. So it might be easier if I share it from my end, yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm just going there now. When did you send this document?
The very first time we had like a conversation, it's telling me the PDF cannot be opened. I don't know why. Let me see. Let me just.
Okay, is that the Unlock Arts Kenya brochure?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, let me see if it can be saved. I'm opening it up. Okay, I can share from here.
Is it able to be
So you
seen?
have your- Okay,
I think
so are you going to be sharing or do you want me to share?
you can share it. The one that I have is.
Okay. Mhm. Okay. Just let me know when you want me to advance the slides.
All right then. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bruno Barcelowit. I'm a performing artist, international relations expert, studied performing arts, majoring in dance and theater. Then I also majored in political science. I majored in international relations. So at the moment, I serve as a performing artist, also as an international relations expert. So I'm in the field of performing arts, and what you can see is Unlock Arts Kenya, which is a performing arts organization. I'm a director of business serving in the organization as a business director. So the organization is a performing arts based organization in Nairobi, majoring on dance and theater. So in dance and theater, they teach various styles in dance and theater. And in dance, they teach on ballet, on jazz, on Cunningham, Martha Graham, and they have African dances, hip hop, and we say a range ballroom dances too, when it comes to salsa, zomba, and so many others. In theater, they teach acting, there's masks, physical theater. There's costume designs, decor designs, lighting designs, and what else? Yes, and arts management as a pro bono. That is an overview of what Unlock Arts does as an organization, as a performing arts organization based in Nairobi, Kenya. So, apart from that, I'm also into community or social work in the community. I'm a staunch lover of charitable works in the community. So I engage with a lot of NGOs. I engage with a lot of institutions and organizations in line with charity work. So when it comes to that is in Nairobi, we have Unlock Arts in Nairobi, which at the moment coming to 2023, I'm at the moment I would be saying in the next few days I would be resigning as the director of Unlock Arts Kenya and proceeding to work in other areas in the country, because at the moment I relocated from Nairobi and Unlock Arts Kenya is based in Nairobi. So I came back to Kisumu, where I've already started a new group. Also going to be majoring on dance, theater, visual arts, and film production, known as Regional Performing Arts Center, Kenya. And also in my community, I work with Stability Foundation, which is a charitable organization empowering youths, empowering the community by looking for resources to empower, nurture, and train youths and kids in the community. So I work in a range of institutions, organizations, and also businesses in terms of arts, culture, and sports. So I also closely associate with Lisa Stufen, who working in my community to just empower in empowerment programs. The Lisa has been a guiding block in one or two areas and has been guiding me in one or two areas in terms of what I do in my community. So I would say that is an overview of what I do. Yes, and you can proceed from there if anybody has any questions. As Lloyd, you could just get through the brochure so that people could the rest of the team could also get a look at what I was talking about as an overview of Unlock Arts Kenya. Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Amazing dance theater. I love it. My sister-in-law here in Toronto, Canada, does the same thing, dance and theater, and she's quite influential in the entire dance and theater scene. So that's amazing.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Bruno.
Yes.
I don't know if you're aware, but I'm a registered adjudicator with both the World Dance Council as well as the World Dance Sport Federation, which of course we've got some disagreements with presently because of they're trying to appropriate breakdancing into the Olympics without the permission of hip hop culture. But I definitely would love to talk with you about your program and
Yes.
see if you have any desire to pick my brains as far as other directions that you may wish to go. So it's very exciting to see this and the work that's been done. And of course, I would be more than pleased to have chats
Yes.
with you on this subject alone, in addition to all the other talking that we've been doing back and forth.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes. So to just add to that, we've also had an opportunity to.
So Bruno, if you could,
Yes.
this is Andrew. Good to see you. I'll put my email in the chat. Perhaps you could share this presentation with me. I'm working with a team called Hip Hop for Peace. This is the 50th anniversary for hip hop this year. So they'd be very interested in connecting together, perhaps with organizations like yours. That's hip hop, HH4peace.org. But I'll put that information in the chat. But if you could send me along this presentation, I'll be happy to connect you together and see what we may be able to do together.
All right. Thank you
yes.
very much.
And in addition, I believe I've already given you the link to the Hip Hop Congress so that you can come in and present at one of the meetings, which is every Saturday at noon to 2 Pacific time. I believe that makes it 10 o'clock your time in the evening. So very good. Very pleased.
All right then. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sir Andrew.
Okay.
So that ends
in
the
chat.
presentation, Bruno. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Bruno. Your work is much appreciated, I think, by everybody on the call today. I'd like to also invite Bill Cantalon to also introduce himself to our group, our members here, perhaps to let us know your interest in this Global Unity Summit event. What piqued your curiosity to join us today?
Okay.
If you are available.
Thank you, Lloyd. I live in Victoria on Vancouver Island in the province of British Columbia. Just a short boat ride over to Seattle, Washington. So we share the Pacific Northwest along with Washington, the state of Washington, Oregon, Northern California. That's where I'm situated, and I just kind of fortuitously stumbled across this yesterday. So I just wanted to hear about this this initiative, this organization, and it's so I'm pleased to be here. But really, I don't have anything to offer beyond that. I'm just here really out of curiosity, and so I appreciated your comments, and Bruno's moment ago. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. So we'll hopefully connect you with we have some other members. We are developing our what we call network of network, UnityNet on social media. We have a number of WhatsApp groups, discussions, along with some related Facebook groups and professional networks on LinkedIn. So across all of the social media platforms, we have what we call chapters and nodes. Chapters are based on the geography of where people live, and the nodes are based on the different topics of discussion that are of interest to our members. So we do have what we call UnityNet Greater Vancouver area, and that does cover as well Vancouver Island and those other communities. So there's a number of members out there, along with some members from Africa who are members of those nodes and chapters, typically because they have some kind of interest, or in the case of the Greater Vancouver Area chapter, some family members who are also living in Canada. So there is the continental networks that we are developing right now are two main networks, what we call UnityNet Turtle Island, which of course is North America, and UnityNet Africa and Diaspora, which is our continental network on that continent, of course, of Africa. Now have upward of 35, 40 country chapters across that beautiful continent. So I'm seeing Lisa Anise, your hand is up as well. You wanted to say a few words.
I just wanted to say a few words to Bill. Bill, I actually grew up in your neck of the woods, so to speak. My family had property on Boundary Pass, where I went every summer during my childhood. And of course, we frequently went to both Victoria and Sydney on Vancouver Island in our jaunts up further north to Chatterbox Falls. One of our favorite summer sojourns that we'd go on. So, and of course, having lived there for so long, my early days of dance sport competition, I was constantly being called into Canada to compete there as both an amateur and a pro-am competitor. So I'm more than happy to have discussions with you on this. And I did leave you a note in the chat with my email address as well as my WhatsApp and phone. So I'm happy to discuss with you what it is that we're doing here. I am the Global Outreach Director for UnityNet. And yeah, I think you and I could have a lot to talk about.
Thanks very much, Lisa. Thank you. I've recorded this information, so thank you very much.
You are most welcome.
It is possible as well to click at the bottom of your WhatsApp window where the chats are happening, the meeting chats. There's three little dots there, and if you click on those, you can press save chat, and when the Zoom call finishes, that will save as a text file on your computer. So you'll have all of those emails, contact information, and any other links that I've been sharing as well. Now, since Bruno's presentation was fairly short, and we are also trying to keep these short as well. Here I am actually in Taiwan, as noted during our opening. So it is now 2 minutes to midnight over here. And I think it's probably best if I were to shut my mouth and let my wife, who's next to me, try to sleep.
Okay.
So we'll keep this as a short event today. I will, however, be publishing the entire presentation and all contents for everybody to get access to. And of course, Bill, I'll send you a link so you can join UnityNet Greater Vancouver as well, so you can connect with our colleagues.
Just to add to what
there.
Yes, go right ahead.
just to add to what I had shared earlier, I also serve as a youth advocate in my country, as a young youth leader, and also as a global ambassador in global youth, in the global youth, as a global youth ambassador in South Korea. Last year we had a conference that was held in the month of August, and we had to talk. I had an opportunity to present on SDGs, on sustainable cities, and they came up with an idea of coming up with a performing arts center in my village, where we get to experience seasonal floods. So I came up with an idea of building sustainable housing and a center for youths in my area whom are mostly unemployed, and presented on that because I wanted to have, it was an idea on creating a city in a village and I'm focusing on performing arts, which is my area of expertise, and giving the youth an opportunity to sustain themselves within that setup, and creating, I would call them building in this flooded region and having housing that can accommodate the flooding in those areas. Having there's a specific word for building a better drainage system in those areas, and using that the time that there is flooding, having a drainage system that could accommodate that water and serve that community of artists, and have that region accommodative for the residents who are part and parcel of that program, that artistic program. So I presented on that, and after that, I got a honorary and recognition award from the Embassy of South Korea, Kenya in South Korea. And at the moment, I serve as a youth ambassador in South Korea. So, of the SDG youth program that we had that particular time. And in my country, I also serve as a youth leader in my country. We have counties. So we have the National Youth Council, and the National Youth Council is devolved in a way that each and every county, which are like provinces in some other countries around the world, I serve as a Secretary General in my youth council, devolved youth council in my village and in my county, in my city. So in that, we come up with policies, youth policies that could, different youth policies that could be helpful in terms of youth leadership and governance, and also help the youths, curb the youth unemployment and issues that affect the youth in general. So I also have, I'm also passionate about youth leadership and governance. So that's also an area that I thought I could share with you, with the team, so that you can have a clear vision of also what I have in mind. Yes.
Yes, Bruno, also in the
Thank
chat.
you, Bruno.
Yeah, in the chat, I put a link to the New Urban Agenda, New Illustrated Handbook. This is available online through that link. And what it does is it provides you with an outline of the content of this handbook that addresses SDG 11, which is Sustainable Cities and Communities. But there's also a free online course that anyone can take, and it walks them through what these steps are for building sustainable communities. I put that link in the chat. So if you choose to, you can go there and make it available not just to your community locally, but those in Korea as well. It does provide a global access to it. So I suggest that anywhere in the world you have a contact, you'd be able to provide this resource.
Thank you very much.
So, yeah. Thank you very much, Andrew, for sharing that with us one more time. It's very important that we acknowledge that there are a number of programs that can help, especially young people, to understand what they need to actually be doing at the local level to start implementing these solutions.
Yeah, Lloyd, I know you're ready to take off, but Bruno, also, we put together a little booklet and I'd be happy to include your own organization if you would like as one of the pages. That way you'd be able to distribute it to your network and this content would be available to them as well. It addresses all 17 Sustainable Development Goals, gives information about the United Nations Global Compact. And as I said, it would be something that you yourself could be able to have your own photo or your company here on the last page. Could be the first page that you distribute to your network. So the idea is to have global partnerships for development where we're all taking advantage of the same content and we'll be able to reach new audiences that we otherwise wouldn't be able to reach individually.
Yes, yes.
So if you
Thank
put
you
your
very
email
much.
contact, make sure I have your email contact and I'll follow up with you.
I think
So
I
that
can
sounds
share
very
my
much like an
email.
invitation to join the Ad Hoc International Advisory Board of Goodwill Ambassadors.
We'll see how that goes.
Okay, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you, Bruno. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Stephanie, for sticking out with us on this call today. We'll keep it again short and sweet, and we'll see you all next Thursday, as always, for week 112 of our Indigenous Global Unity Summit.
Thanks, Lloyd. Thanks,
All right.
Andrew. Thanks,
Bye for
Bruno.
now.
Nice to meet you, Bill.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you very
everyone.
much.
Love to all.
All right.
Thank you.
Be well.
All right.
Bye.